Damn.
Hey everyone, my name is Bella, and this is everything you need to know about the Flash movie. The history of the DCU has been complicated. It started off with Zack Snyder holding the reins, and now James Gunn and Peter Safran are crafting a whole new era for the franchise. But in this pre-Gods and Monsters chapter of the DC universe, there are still a few more films set in the remnants of Snyder's world. For example, there's The Flash, one of the most anticipated and controversial superhero movies in recent memory. The film will tell the story of Barry Allen, Ezra Miller, a man with the ability to tap into the Speed Force. Through the Speed Force, Barry has become the fastest man alive, the Flash, and a successful superhero. Despite this, Barry still laments the murder of his mother, Maribel Verdú, during his childhood, which led to the false arrest and imprisonment of his dad, Ron Livingston. In going back in time to try to prevent her death, Barry changes the entire DC universe timeline. Barry and a doppelganger traverse this new and far darker timeline, rife with new and old allies and threats. The Flash first appeared in the DCU way back in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and it's taken quite a while for the Scarlet Speedster to get his own film. But now that Barry Allen is about to accelerate into theaters, what can we expect from this highly praised yet divisive film? The Flash promises to be DC's biggest outing yet, which fans are eager to see as soon as possible. So before you speed into theaters this summer, here's everything you need to know about. The Flash has had a long and bumpy road to theaters. The project was originally slated for March 23, 2018, and along the way, it suffered multiple release date snafus. During its long slog to the screen, the film shuffled through 4 sets of directors and had a complete script rewrite, with at least 4 scribes contributing to various versions of the story from 2018 to 2023. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, Joby Harold of King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and finally, Birds of Praise, Christina Hodson. At one point, COVID got involved, forcing The Flash forward in time and causing Warner Brothers to rearrange their entire release slate. On top of all that, the film was dogged by all sorts of accusations against star Ezra Miller, from assault charges to accusations of grooming and burglary, leading the actor to receive treatment for their mental health issue. And along the way, the entire DCU was restructured, with James Gunn and Peter Safran becoming the new DCU heads. In other words, there's been a whole lot of DC drama. But now, The Flash finally has a solid release date. Expect to see the Scarlet Speedster on June 16th, 2023. And we have pretty high hopes for the film, as James Gunn told Variety, "I will say here that Flash is probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. High praise from the man behind the Suicide Squad and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies." If you've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League or an episode of the CW's Flash TV series, then you know the Scarlet Speedster can travel through time if he runs fast enough, entering the Speed Force. Of course, while this skill comes in hand every so often, it can also have some pretty disastrous consequences, something Barry Allen will find out the hard way in his upcoming solo film. As the official plot synopsis reads, worlds collide in The Flash when Barry uses his superpowers to travel back in time in order to change the events of the past. The hero wants to save his murdered mom from her tragic fate, but his time-traveling plan majorly backfires, resetting the future. Barry becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation, and there are no superheroes to turn to. After running into an alternate version of himself, the two Barrys realize there is one hero that might be able to join their fight against Man of Steel's Zod, Michael Shannon, a retired Batman who happens to look a whole lot like Michael Keaton. As the plot reads, Barry will also need to rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian, albeit not the one he's looking for. Spoiler alert, it's Supergirl, Sasha Calle, and she looks like she's ready to mess some bad guys up. Of course, defeating Zod and putting things back in order won't be that easy. As the synopsis reveals, ultimately, To save the world that he is in and return to the future that he knows, Barry's only hope is to race for his life. But will making the ultimate sacrifice be enough to reset the universe? Ezra Miller will be starring as two versions of Barry Allen. The actor originated the role in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, before reprising the part in both versions of Justice League. In addition to playing the Scarlet Speedster and their aforementioned legal woes, Miller is best known for playing the titular psychopath in We Need to Talk About Kevin, Credence Barebone in the Fantastic Beasts movies, and Patrick Stewart, no, not that one, in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Miller will be joined in their time-traveling adventure by Sasha Calle as Supergirl. The part of Kara Zor-El will be Calle's first feature film, although she's had quite a bit of experience on TV, playing the role of Lola Rosales in The Young and the Restless. It remains to be seen if Calle will reprise the Kryptonian part in the upcoming Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, or if DCU heads James Gunn and Peter Safran will recast her. We'll also be getting two Batmen for the price of one. First up, we've got Batfleck himself. Ben Affleck is back as Bruce Wayne. The big coup here was casting Michael Keaton as an alternate universe Caped Crusader. Keaton famously played Bruce Wayne in Tim Burton's 1989 Batman and 1992's Batman Returns, helping lay the groundwork for the superhero boom to come. In recent years, Keaton has been a busy man, starring in everything from Spotlight and The Founder to Spider-Man Homecoming and Hulu's Dopesick. It also appears Michael Shannon is coming back as General Zod, the DCU's original Big Bad. He made Superman's life pretty miserable in Man of Steel, and now he's been unleashed in a timeline where there are no metahumans to stop him. Shannon is an incredibly prolific actor, showing up in projects like Knives Out, Bullet Train, 9 Perfect Strangers, and George and Tammy. He'll be joined by Ansha Trawu as Fora Ul, Zod's right-hand woman. Plus, expect to see Ron Livingston and Maribel Verdú as Barry's parents and Kiersey Clemons reprising the part of Iris West from Zack Snyder's Justice League. The DCU has played host to a group of incredibly talented directors, from Zack Snyder and James Gunn to Patty Jenkins and Kathy Yan. And now, Andy Muschietti will be joining their ranks as the filmmaker is helming The Flash. Of course, it took Warner Brothers a long time to pick Muschietti. When The Flash was officially announced back in 2018, Seth Grahame-Smith, the writer of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, was set to direct, although he eventually left over creative differences. Grahame-Smith was followed by Rick Famuyiwa of Dope, who eventually departed for similar reasons and wound up a major player on The Mandalorian. After Famuyiwa departed, the studio turned to John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, now probably best known for Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. However, Ezra Miller allegedly wanted something darker than Daley and Goldstein were aiming for, so they were eventually replaced by Muschietti. Similar to DCU compatriots David F. Sandberg and James Wan, Muschietti got his start in horror, directing Jessica Chastain in the incredibly eerie Mama. The filmmaker then truly made his mark, bringing Pennywise to terrifying life in IT and It Chapter 2. We'll be interested to see if Muschietti brings any of his horror cred into The Flash, but we do know he'll be bringing big emotions. As the director told Order 67, The Flash is a very special story. Yes, it's a superhero movie, but it has a heart and a soul. It has emotion. The official trailer for The Flash promises a time travel adventure for the ages, with Barry Allen running into a future of his own making, with disastrous consequences. As the trailer opens, we hear Michael Keaton's Batman talking to Barry, saying, "Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline, another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?" Barry responds, "Because this is the one where my mom lives. I'm not going to lose her again." It's here we witness images of Barry's mother and watch her ultimate fate, a death the Flash has never recovered from. But with his new time-traveling powers, he sees a world where he could save his mom. "I could fix things," he tells Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. "You could also destroy everything. Batfleck responds, right before General Zod shows up in a new timeline, courtesy of Barry. Thanks to his well-intentioned meddling, Barry has created a world where there are no more metahumans to stop Zod. We also witness Keaton's caped crusader whooping up on some baddies, and we see the wrath of Supergirl as she wrecks everyone in her path. We also get to see the interplay between red-clad Barry and yellow-clad Barry as their similar yet distinct personalities contrast with one another. In short, the trailer promises The Flash will delve deep into DC lore, giving us a new spin on old characters and giving us some new memorable heroes to stand alongside the old vets. With both Warner Media and DC Comics both going through major changes as of late, is The Flash going to be the hard reset for the DCU? On the Warner Media end of things, the company publicly merged with Discovery back in 2022, resulting in a tidal wave of program and film cancellations. This included films like Batgirl and shows like My Adventures with Superman being canceled or shipped off to new homes like Adult Swim. Many once important DC releases, including Black Adam and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, were also delayed. The other big change was the announcement that director James Gunn would be stepping into a role for DC Comics films similar to Kevin Feige's for Marvel. Following this sizable change-up, Gunn also announced a brand new slate loaded with future films and streaming content, with the first chapter of this new DC cinematic universe known as Gods and Monsters. So with a shiny new cinematic universe on the horizon, will The Flash be a vital part of setting up this new era for DC Comics? Given the recent post-credits scene in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, it seems Gunn is still determining which aspects of the old universe will still be in play. Seems like we'll have to wait for the dust to settle before determining just how much of a restart Gunn's new universe, and The Flash, will actually be.